Coming up next is BRAWLN News number 110. It's going to be an all WWE update. We're going to talk about Matt Bloom, who's coming back to the WWE with his third identity in God knows how many years. Also, we're going to talk about Florida Championship Wrestling and how the developmental arm of the WWE might be moving up to Stamford, Connecticut, and is that a good thing or a bad thing? We're going to talk about that quite a bit. All that and more coming right up.
Civilized Society's crowning achievement, BRAWLN News.
If I could take back all those Big Macs, don't you think I would? BRAWLN News, episode 110. Revengeance again.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video out house. It's time for
BRAWLN News, boys and girls!
BRAWLN News!
That house is out of toilet paper.
And BRAWLN News is coming here from this place, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all my new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. This is an all WWE. You try saying that.
It's WD-40
all
update.
WD-40. It's an all WWE
It's all about oil!
wrestling update.
He was an early guy.
And our first story up involves Matt Bloom. They re-signed him
Matt Bloom, otherwise known as Prince Albert, otherwise known as
in a can.
otherwise known as A-Train.
A-Train.
He
Oh,
has
man.
been re-signed by the WWE. He's the
Yes.
when you saw that when you watched Raw and you saw the commercial for the teaser for Lord Tensai.
Okay.
With the tattoos.
Yeah.
That's Matt Bloom, who's a product of the WWE developmental system. And actually, he's gone when he went.
Wait a
to
minute.
Japan-
He's been in the WWE at least on two occasions.
No, just once.
With two separate people.
Well, he was Prince Albert, then he changed his name to A-Train. 'Cause he
Okay.
walked out with a suitcase.
Okay. So now he's coming back technically for a third run at the WWE, but he's been in developmental to develop this new persona
Well, no.
or to learn how to wrestle.
After he left the WWE, he went to New Japan Wrestling, and he actually has developed into a damn good wrestler while he's over there.
Well, good.
He's slowed his style down. He's more effective. He'll be used as a monster heel.
You wrestle good now.
He's more than likely going to be John Laurinaitis' henchman after WrestleMania is over with.
Oh, great. They're still keeping Laurinaitis around, huh?
Laurinaitis' team is actually, as far as I'm concerned from now, is supposed to win the battle at WrestleMania and be in charge of both shows.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, what are they going to do with Peanut?
Oh, they'll find something for him to do. They always do.
Okay. WWE developmental in Florida, Florida Championship Wrestling. There are lots of rumors going around about its future existence. Bo, is it going to be around a year from now?
Well, on Tuesday, it was reported that Florida Championship Wrestling was going to be shut down and closed up. And some people went, huh? And then the WWE said, no, we're going to stop running the show on Florida television. But the WWE's been making a very large point of continually denying that it's being closed down. But the rumor that everyone's saying is that it is going to be closed down as far as being in Tampa, Florida is concerned. The developmental system will move to Stamford, Connecticut, which is where the WWE offices are, and so the people who work in the offices can watch the people in developmental, and they can see them grow and develop. In fact, they're talking about the developmental may have more than one area to be in, because a long time ago they had two developmental territories.
Well, they had Ohio Valley.
They had Ohio Valley,
Yeah.
and then they created something called Deep South Wrestling. So you had people training in Louisville, Kentucky, and Deep South, which is in the South, and then they decided to close Deep South, and then they left Ohio Valley, and then Steve Kern Skinner, for all you old-time fans, he went over to Florida, and that's where the developmental territory has been.
Okay.
And this will be the second big move from Triple H, who's taken over the entire concept of developmental, because there was a guy named Ty Bailey who worked directly under John Laurinaitis, who was before in charge of developmental. He got let go, and people went, why are they letting this guy go? He was the number 2 guy. So now we know that Triple H is completely and totally taking over the concept of developmental, which is maybe a good thing or a bad thing, because his idea is...
Well, I guess it depends a lot on whether or not you have his head buried all the way up his ass or not.
Well, yeah, I mean...
if he doesn't, it's a great idea. He'll know what he's doing. Otherwise, if it's just a power grab on his point...
The history of developmental has been weird. When Jim Ross was the head of talent relations, and then he developed guys like Edge, Christian, Kurt Angle, guys who could wrestle.
Yeah.
When Laurinaitis took over, it became guys who were 6'2", 185, 195 pounds. So they all looked the same, and they couldn't wrestle for crap. So then Triple H came in and said, why don't we start getting guys who do other things other than all just have a specific look? If you're looking at the perfect example of a John Laurinaitis success in developmental, Alex Riley.
Yeah.
He can talk, can't wrestle a lick.
Yeah.
But he can talk.
Okay.
So the assumption is Triple H is going to basically bring these guys to Connecticut. They may come up with another spot, and then you'll have people who actually wrestled before who people would know about will be going out and training them and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of guys in developmental now. There's about 30 or 45 people there. Of that 30 to 45, I mean, I read reports and stuff like that when I pick up the Observer. Out of that 35 to 45 people, only 10 of them are going to be worth a crap when they come over the roster. The other ones are just sort of there. So it's like, what are you signing them for if you're not going to do anything with them?
I'm not sure why they have to move the developmental arm of the WWE from Florida and up to Connecticut in the first place.
Well, Connecticut's going to cost more money for the wrestlers because real estate in Connecticut is a little more expensive than living in Tampa, Florida.
Well, yeah.
So it's going to cost the wrestlers a lot more to move.
Stanford has become a production hub.
Yeah, well, it'll be close to the studios.
TV's happening everywhere.
I'll be willing to bet that...
Yeah, but we're talking about wrestling developmental. I mean, we're not talking about manufacturing television programs. We're talking about manufacturing wrestlers. That's the whole point behind development.
Well, I'll be willing to bet that the developmental tapings are probably taking place at the WWE studios whenever that gets done. And so if, Triple H or anybody else in the system wants to go down and look at them, they can just walk down the street or take a 5-minute drive and they can see the guys instead of relying on getting reports.
I can understand that part of it, but it just seems to me if you're in a different part of the country, you're exposed to a bigger variety of talent as opposed to having to bring people up to you all the time. Well, it's easier to go out and find people, especially in that area.
Well, you are. The problem with that is the fact that if you go through WWE developmental, they all wrestle the same. Well, nobody wrestles anything differently. That's why when guys like CM Punk show up or Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, they show up, they're so much better than everyone else because they've wrestled in other places and they've been able to watch other styles and come up with stuff. WWE sort of goes with more of the cookie cutter thing, and so you get all these generic guys showing up, and you go, "Why should you give a crap about him because he looks like that other guy?"
If they move it to Stanford, it's just going to make it that much more inbred.
Yeah, well.
And it's going to make that just that much worse.
And I mean, and it's one of the biggest things about developmental. You notice the two biggest stars of developmental right now are a guy named Dean Ambrose and another guy. These guys didn't come from WWE developmental. These are guys who are working in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
That's where all their developmental talent's coming from. It's not coming from their developmental system. These are guys who worked in front of wrestling crowds in cities, and people saw them work.
That's the way you ought to be running a developmental
organization. That's the way you bring up guys from the system. Yeah. Otherwise, you get this cookie cutter crap where they're all tall, blonde, boring guys. Santino Marella is a
sort of like Laurinaitis.
Sort of like Laurinaitis, yeah. So who is a bland, tall, boring guy?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, the biggest claim to fame for Laurinaitis is he's Animal's brother and he invented the diamond cutter, and that's about it. Yeah.
Right. Bam.
But I don't know. But yeah, supposedly after WrestleMania, they're going to make this big ass announcement about the changes in developmental. But it's going to come up with them moving to Stanford because they're denying it too hard. Every time they ask them about it, they're going out of their way to going, "That's not true. That's not true. That's not true," which usually means it's true.
Okay. And so there you go. That's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We've got no more BRAWLN news, but you can go to the store's website. Check out all the BRAWLN news this man sends me and I post up. Bo,
tell him, Sarah.
If you guys have any suggestions, feel free. Quite frankly, I'm stumped. www.myalternatereality.com.
So stop at the store's website, check out all of his BRAWLN news, and until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And this is Bo.
Saying, bye. Hey, you want to save 20% off of everything in the store? Then show up on the 20th of every month because the 20th is Founders Day here at Alternate Reality. And on Founders Day, everything except this week's new comics and bulk supplies is 20% off. That's right, every single thing in the store is 20% off every 20th here at Alternate Reality.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.